James Boobie Miles was a football phenom in the late 80s in a small West Texas town of Odessa, being raised by his uncle and going to the football powerhouse Permian.
And he can pass.
Should we believe the hype?
What hype?
The hype about Boobie Miles.
Now, hype is something that's not for real. I'm all real.
But unfortunately, the high sought out running back in his senior season will have a devastating career changing knee injury.
Part of your knee, significant enough that I have concerns about what you can do from here on.
So when can I suit up?
Well, let me just say, with how your knee felt when I examined it and what I see on the scan,
Though Boobie was a very high recruit, teams didn't want to take a chance not knowing his ability after the injury. But when Boobie was down on his luck and thought it was all over, there was one coach, one man who had his back and saw light at the end of the tunnel.
How about some memories that you may have over at Midland Lee?
And at his time at Midland Lee, he would go on to see a young sophomore, Boobie Miles, go off for 125 yards against Midland Lee. And at the time, he knew this kid's got potential. There's just one thing though. Boobie didn't really trust people from Midland.
Best for me, you from Midland, right?
He had no one else in his corner, so he knew he had to trust this man. That man was none other than Texas Tech's head coach, Spike Dykes. He was the only one to tell Boobie he was going to give him a shot. Now, it was going to be a partial walk-on scholarship, but then he told him, if you work hard, you buckle down, it ain't going to be easy. But if you work hard, he'll make sure to get you some playing time. Maybe not in the first year, but certainly the second year. But you got to earn it, son. And that's what Boobie did. Yeah, he just had one request, though.
Everybody know the shoe is nice. Nothing holding his feet, ain't that right?
I could knock you on a pair of flip-flops.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna knock him out with
Now, Boobie, coach, and his uncle knew that the injury was devastating. He knew he wasn't going to just get the start right away, might not even see playing time his first year, but he figured, hey, if I just buckle down, maybe get my schooling out the way, get bigger, get stronger, get healthy, and I can try to contribute as much as I can if I get on the field. Now that Boobie was settled in, it was time for his first day at practice. And I know you noticed that big old knee brace on his knee, but hey, doctor said he had to have that on for at least a year, and that's what he's doing. Health first, and then get on the field. Now, when Coach Dykes said he wasn't going to possibly see the field, he was not playing. For the first maybe 7 games, he didn't see a lick of playing time. Hell, not even when they were up by 30. But, you know, when Boobie just wanted to get his knee right anyways, and coach didn't want to risk putting him out there getting him hurt. So he did what he did all year, went to class, and went straight back to practice. And by this time in his freshman year, Boobie really built up a routine. Just going to practice, going to the games, suiting up for the games but not getting no playing times, going to class, going to training, going back to practice, going back to the games, going back to training, going back to practice, and just making sure at all times he kept his grades up, kept his knee. Now, Boobie didn't get to see the field at all his freshman year, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Bad thing because, of course, he wants to play, and he feels like his knee is healthy, his grades are up, and he's feeling strong and powerful. Good thing is, it doesn't count for his clock. So now, by the end of because of this, he gets a medical redshirt year. Having not seen the field, by the time he starts his next year, instead of being a sophomore, he'll be a redshirt freshman. And that's good because he'll have 4 more years to dominate. Summer with his uncle back in Odessa, it was time for Boobie to get back to his second year in Texas Tech. Now, be it that it was his second year, feeling stronger. And finally, when Boobie was losing hope, after a year and some change, he finally had a chance to battle for a position move. And you know Boobie wasn't going to let that pass up, so he won. He finally was RB3. Now going into the game, he thought maybe, well, since I moved up a little bit, I should get some playing time, right? Absolutely not. Didn't see the field once until it happened again. Another challenge for him to be running back 2, something he's been fighting for a year and a half. And finally, after 2 years of training and busting his butt in class and only having one Division I school give him a shot and one coach believe in him, Boobie Miles was finally going to see the field as RB2. And of course, this happens.
On second down, just keeps firing. Makes the catch, and he will score. Touchdown, Red Raiders.
Man, the football out, cutting into this deficit, and who knows what the heck will happen.
Looking downfield, it's strong. Out of the backfield, he's open. They make the stop, but this pass.
Feeling like he got his swagger back, Boobie was on top of the world and thought maybe nothing can get better than this until the coaches, of course, gave him the biggest opportunity of his life, and that was to be the starting running back for the University of Texas Tech. And Boobie always was confident, but now that he had a whole university behind him, he felt like on top of the world, and it was time to show these people who Boobie Miles was really made of.
Pushing it in for the offense. They'll try to get it in with the run. Touchdown, Red Raider! And the stomping has commenced. Boy, do they need that score. Gave them a little cushion as they try to put a stop to.
After that first initial touchdown, Boobie was on top of the world. Confidence was skyrocket. Body was feeling like tip-top shape. Grades were up, and Boobie was rolling.
Gonna run it. It's Miles. And he delivers the blow, and he's still running. And he breaks into the open. Inside the 30. He's at the 10.
But mind you, he only got to start his last maybe 5 games or so, maybe 4 games, including the bowl game. But that didn't stop him from getting second team all Big 12 honors and capping off the year with a victory in the Liberty Bowl. Now, for a minute there, Boobie thought about entering the NFL draft because he was eligible now. And remember, that was him and his uncle's plan. Get money, take care of the family. But he knew he had to give Coach Dykes, a little bit more than just a 5-game starting career. He was going to come back to dominate college football.